Right now at 6, police release a list of Portland State suspects, and most of them don't appear to be students.
I think this was just disruptive without an end goal.
Plus, pushing past death threats and a tarnished reputation. How a man falsely accused of a bias crime is clearing his name.
This event was completely fabricated.
And kidnapped by a stranger.
Like, he looked shaken up, and that's what made me call the cops.
The chance encounter that brought a missing 5-year-old home, safe and sound. First at 6, Portland State students return to class as a tumultuous week on campus comes to a close. This afternoon, a parade of suspects accused of trespassing and vandalizing the PSU library appeared in a downtown courtroom where they went before a judge. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. It has been a much quieter day at Portland State after yesterday's chaotic scenes when police cleared the library of pro-Palestinian protesters, arresting 30 people in all, the majority of them not PSU students. Thomas Schultz joins us live from the courthouse downtown with what we're learning about the people who are now facing criminal charges. Thomas?
Yeah, David, in the courtroom today, while those people were having their first appearance in front of the judge, there's a lot of tense, nervous energy, and there was a lot of supporters there too. It was a packed courtroom and even an overflow into the hallway. And often seen in that courtroom, you could see supporters consoling those people who were appearing in front of the judge for the first time, putting their arm around them. Now, we also spoke to Portland State students today who say that while they were in support of this protest, they say eventually it just went too far. Late Friday morning, Portland State's campus was quiet. Students walked to class for the first time in days. After days of pro-Palestinian protests and occupation of the library before police
Portland police, leave the building now! Force will be used against you!
Cleared the library twice Thursday.
It's a little disheartening.
Abby Proctor is a sophomore at Portland State. She supported the protest, though not the vandalism.
It felt honestly counterintuitive to the movement as a whole.
Other students agreed.
I mean, I think protests are positive. I think it's something that should happen. The sad thing is I don't think the destruction is necessary.
It was definitely troublesome, to say the least.
Portland police say they arrested 30 people, many for trespassing. At least 6 were students. And police say some were arrested in the library, some in the PSU park where protesters congregated. Police say those arrests happened after protesters were told several times the park was closed. Many were in court Friday afternoon.
Yes, Your Honor, the state has no objection to continuing release.
Protester ages ranged from 18 to 60, and we asked protesters in court for an interview. All asked declined. Though back on campus,
I think this was just disruptive without an end goal.
To see all the destruction happening here, it sucks. It sucks that it's happening.
Yeah, it's interesting that at least according to police, the vast majority here are not students. Thomas, what happens with the suspects now? Because it sounds like some of them have already been released.
Yeah, David, I mean, they've been released, but for many of them, they do have a hearing next month. Now, it's interesting here, the prosecutor here asked that these protesters, these suspects, not be able to go back to Portland State University's campus. Those requests were denied by the judge. And as you mentioned earlier, that a lot of these protesters may not be Portland State students. It's not yet clear why those people are not barred from returning to Portland State campus. David?
Yeah, some good questions. Thomas Schultz for us downtown this evening. Thank you, Thomas. To huge relief this evening for the family of a missing 5-year-old, with police saying the boy is now safe and the woman accused of kidnapping him under arrest. Catherine Cook is live in Southeast Portland, where she just talked with the person who found him. Catherine?
David, she is so thankful and relieved that she followed her instincts and called police. Shan Stallsworth says she recognized the little boy from yesterday's media coverage. She was heading into work around 7 o'clock this morning near Southeast 151st and Mill. That's where she spotted the missing 5-year-old. He was with the woman police say was spotted with the boy yesterday on board 2 TriMet buses. That woman is now identified as 31-year-old Leanne Osborne. Cheyenne says the woman was pulling the little boy in a wagon. She says the boy was wearing a really big black sweatshirt and a ski mask that covered part of his face. None of it seemed normal to Cheyenne, so she called police. Officers responded. They rescued the 5-year-old and arrested Osborne. They also called Cheyenne to let her know the good news.
I was teary-eyed when they called me. I was at work, like, my boss was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." I feel like it was by the grace of God that I saw him, and I'm just thankful that they didn't take him anywhere.
Police say other than Osborne frequenting this area and sometimes seeing the little boy near his home, the two had no connection. Osborne was booked on 1 count of second-degree kidnapping. David.
Just great news that that 5-year-old is okay. Thank you, Catherine. In your headlines, a second driver has pleaded guilty in connection with a street racing crash 2 years ago that killed a woman waiting for a bus. Today, Jonathan Pena was sentenced to 3 years in prison for criminally negligent homicide in the death of 26-year-old Ashley McGill. Police say Pena was one of 2 drivers illegally racing in southeast Portland in August 2022 when he lost control of his car and hit McGill. That was the same weekend a 20-year-old was killed by gunfire at a street takeover. The other driver, Kenneth Freeman, pleaded guilty last year and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. We have new details this evening on the man killed by authorities after they say he took his family hostage earlier this week. 45-year-old Andrew Song is accused of using a large knife to threaten to kill his wife and 2 children in their Happy Valley home. Clackamas County deputies say he also doused the house with gasoline. Negotiators spent several hours trying to get him to come out, but they say he became more threatening and tried to strike up a lighter. The SWAT team then went in with 2 officers firing shots that killed Song. His wife and children were not hurt. The officers are on administrative leave as their actions are reviewed. A Multnomah County grand jury has found that 3 Portland police officers should not face criminal charges in the fatal shooting of a shoplifting suspect at Mall 205. Back in December, police say 33-year-old Tyrone Johnson, who had an active warrant for his arrest, was spotted trying to shoplift from Target. Moments later, surveillance video recorded the suspect running from officers through the parking lot. Police say there was a confrontation and 3 officers fired shots at Johnson, killing him. Investigators say they found a semi-automatic handgun next to his body. And more than 9,000 voters in East Multnomah County will soon be getting replacement ballots after a Metro ballot measure was mistakenly left off. Voters in 3 precincts in the Gresham area received the incorrect ballots that omitted measure 26244. That is the $380 million bond for upgrades to the Oregon Zoo. The county chair has ordered a review into how the mistake was made. Ballots in the Oregon primary need to be returned or postmarked by Tuesday, May 21st. Matt?
All right, David, thanks very much. It's going to be a good weekend to get paperwork done because we got a lot of this coming our way. Wet and gray. It's 53 degrees, so you can add chilly to that as well because we won't really be climbing out of the mid-50s this weekend. The coast, nobody in our scene here from Cannon Beach, nobody walking the beach. It's 51 degrees. It's raining. Not very windy, but still not the most pleasant of days on the Oregon coast, and that's what our weekend's going to look like, a whole lot of rain. See it on Doppler radar. Now covering basically all of western Oregon and southwest Washington and northwest Washington for that matter. And occasionally the rain picks up in intensity, but it's going to be very steady and it's going to add up to a lot of rain. I'll show you the exact totals that we're expecting coming up a little bit later. So tomorrow it's rain pretty much all day long, 48 in the morning. We get up to 53 tomorrow. That's more than 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. Continues into Sunday, then it breaks up late Sunday night, but heavy snow in the Cascades is the plus side of all of this wet weather. And then a dramatic turnaround, warm and sunny by the end of next week. More on all of this, David, in a bit. Back to you.
Hey, once we get past the super soaker, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. We now know the results of Portland's 90-day fentanyl state of emergency, with the governor and other leaders announcing signs of progress, they said today, but also how very far we have to go. John Adams is here with a look at those details. John?
Well, David, the city, county, and state jointly released a 120-page report today summing up the 90 days and what will take place in the future. It's a lot of information included, so let's start walking through some of the results. Leaders say that in the last 90 days, over 200 overdoses have been reversed in the city of Portland using naloxone. And let's try to advance this here. Oh, well, Our graphic froze up, but I'll read it off the screen. 28 pounds of fentanyl had been seized. Over 1,600 people have been contacted through outreach efforts, and 300 of those were referred to shelters, and 80 were referred to treatment or detox, and 30 people were referred to housing programs. More than 50 lights were installed in areas around the city known for fentanyl trafficking. As for the next steps going forward, Governor Kotek announced the state police will continue assisting in Portland for the next 6 months. And Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson announced an initiation to reach people suffering from fentanyl addiction on the streets.
We know that stopping using fentanyl, even for a few hours, is so painful and hard, which is why we're going to literally meet people where they're at with an increased number of mobile clinics offering medication-assisted treatment.
There is also a plan to develop an intake facility that would allow referrals to treatment from all sources. Those sources would include law enforcement, community organizations, and medical professionals. Once again, so much more information available in that 120-page report. You can find the full report on our website. Just click on this story on KGW.com or visit our KGW app. David?
Thanks, John. Appreciate the breakdown there. Straight ahead at 6 on this Friday, how dash cam video from a FedEx truck helped free a man arrested and wrongfully accused of a bias crime. That's next.